Let's go to the women then. This one also tough because we don't know who's running the event. Again, you run into the same issue. Number 1, Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone, then Femke Boll, Paulino 3, Britton Wilson 4, Sada Williams 5, Cofield 6, Claver 7, Candice McLeod 8, Stephanie Ann McPherson 9th, and then in 10th we have
you can say the name. I'm gonna fail at it.
Oh, Kaczmarek of Poland. Sorry, it was cut off on my list. Yeah, Kaczmarek of Poland, who was very consistent last year. So the top 4, 3 of the 4, we don't know if they're running the 400 this year. 3 of the top 4 are 400-meter runners. We're also not, including Shawnee Miller-Weibo in this top 10 list. And then you go outside of that top 4. Sada Williams was very consistent last year, but there's a lot of depth 5 through 10 on this list. And I think there's some people here who are going to end up being in the top 10 at the end of the year. And I think one of those people is going to be Talitha Diggs. I think another one's going to be Rashida Adeleke. I just think there's a log jam right now of low, very, very high 49, like 49.8, 49.9 to 50.4. And there's just probably 10, 15 women that are going to be in that group. I don't necessarily think that's where the medals are going to come from, but it makes it difficult to predict the back half of the top 10.
Is there someone we're forgetting?
Well, yeah, I mean, someone who should be included. Oh, Nasser? Yeah, okay, so Nasser be a big question mark. Her suspension's up this year. She could run it. But to me, if you're out for a couple of years, that's different than an injury. Like, you got to come back and show some sort of fitness at that point. Yeah. Listen, if Sydney runs, she's going to be the top pick. If we find out she's not running, she's going to get moved out of the 400. She'll be well represented in the 400 hurdles. Boll, you feel a little more confident that she could run it because she ran it indoors. But again, Boll could opt for the 400 hurdles. We don't know at this point. And there's just a bunch of question marks there. So, yeah, it's a hard event on the men's side and women's side to figure out just because you just don't know who's running. In the 100, you don't really have any worries of, hey.
Will Shelly-Ann run the 100?
Yeah. Trayvon Bromell, he going to do this?
Is he in the 100? Or is he going to do the triple jump?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So it makes it difficult. And then when you get out of that first group, if there's so many questions of the first group, the second group is always going to be difficult to rank as well, just because that's where all the depth starts to come in. So it makes the whole top 10 a difficult proposition.
It is interesting, though, the fact that McLaughlin, Levrone, Boll, and Wilson, 3 of the top 4, probably won't even be in there. You throw in Shawnee Miller-Weibo.
Yeah.
And also Nasser, who may or may not even be fit. Like, there's an athlete who's going to be, on paper, like the 7th or 8th best runner in the world, but because of everyone leaving the event or not being in the event, all of a sudden could be in medal contention.
Well, and we didn't even mention a thing Mo as well.
There you go. 8th or 9th best in the world. Yeah.
And the reason I didn't include her, I know she has run 400s before, but she hasn't said that she's going to pursue the 400 this year. Now, Sydney didn't say she was going to do it this year, but she has talked about running it, so that was enough for me